Okay. Welcome. Yay, this is so fun to see everyone. Okay, we'll just give a couple more minutes to just let folks come through. Thank you so much for joining me. And just so everybody knows too, I'm going to be taking questions at the very end, just so I'm in the flow, making things. And then we have kind of a silent participant, Kelsey. She's literally in my living room right now, but she'll be answering any questions for those who are having issues, just technical issues, because we still are in Mercury retrograde. So yeah, I'll just give a couple more minutes. Hi, Kelsey. And for questions too, if you have questions along the way, you can just put the questions in the chat, because I might not be able to see if you raise a hand. If I do see it, then I'll definitely try to answer it in the mix. Okay. How's everybody doing? Thanks so much for making it. Awesome. During the lunchtime. Cool. Okay. Is there any, Kelsey, any issues, questions so far that you're seeing in the, okay, cool. No technical difficulties, great. Great. So just while we're just gonna give another minute or so, I'm just gonna kind of let you know what I have here. So I have lemon balm from my garden, some brandy, and a jar, and scissors. You can use a knife, but I actually prefer scissors, so it's pretty simple. The honey is for later, for the second part of the cordial making, and I'll explain that as we go. Hi, Kayla from Portland. I can see that right now. Okay. So maybe we can get started. Welcome everybody to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making lemon balm cordial. And this is the first of a series that we're going to be doing monthly. That's going to be just like a live, just to our newsletter subscribers, for an opportunity for me to talk about herbal medicine. And this is obviously, you know, a huge passion of mine. It's the origins of Fat in the Moon. And it just felt like a really good time to share some skills and also just come back to the fundamentals of really what was the interest for me to start Fat in the Moon. It also just feels like herbal medicine, especially kitchen medicine, is just part of all of our ancestry and just a really great thing to build community around. So I really hope that you take these skills and pass them along, because this is just one example of a million different kinds of cordials that you can make. So yeah, spread the love. So it also gives me an opportunity to talk about some of the plants. You know, we work with some of the plants that we're going to be talking about in these lives in our products, of course, but plants like lemon balm have so many different uses. They have uses, you know, in the home kitchen for flavor. They also have uses, medicinal uses that herbalists use as part of their you know, their materia medica. So these plants are so rich, and so this gives me an opportunity to talk about that, and just to share with you my love of some of these herbs. So I hope that it inspires you to get curious about the plants that are grown in your backyard, and to be able to incorporate some of these plants in different ways aside from body care products. So so today we're going to be talking about lemon balm, and lemon balm is a great springtime herb. So there's loads of it right now in California, in my garden, at the farms that we work with. And lemon balm, the Latin name for lemon balm is Melissa officinalis, and it's in the mint family. So this plant, once you plant it, you'll probably have it forever. Just keeps coming back year after year. The smell of the plant is very lemony. That's part of its, you know, its name. It's a folk name. Also, Melissa is another word for lemon balm. In different languages, it's called Melissa, and that is because of an association with the bees. So there's a lot of lore around lemon balm and bee magic. So really, really rich history of this plant. It's actually from the Mediterranean, and it's been cultivated for over 2,000 years. So humans have a long history with this plant. So this plant is considered a nervine. So a nervine is a plant that basically regulates or modulates our nervous systems. And our nervous systems are basically how we take information from life around us and translate them into feelings, sensations in our bodies. So it's how the nervous system is regulating how we interact with our world, how our world impacts us. So the nervines are the plants that really help us, like you would call, your best friend if a bummer happened, you would call up your best friend and they would make you feel better probably right away. That's a similar way that the nervines work. So, and there's all different kinds of nervines, and they all have kind of different attributes. So lemon balm's attributes are quite lovely. So this plant is really calming. So really good plant to give in like a cup of tea for a little one, very safe, but also has a sort of uplifting quality to it. So while it's calming, it also is kind of brightening in spirit. So I would say that this plant has a sort of antidepressant quality to it as well. So really good for folks who are experiencing seasonal affective disorders, who kind of get blue in just when it's cloudy and cold and in the winter months. Lemon balm is an excellent plant for those folks. The spirit medicine of lemon balm is also is associated with kind of a childlike joy. So if you are just around lemon balm and you just smell it and just work with it, it has this sort of uplifting childlike joy effect and personality. Also really excellent antiviral. So used topically, used internally, really excellent at helping the body deal with viruses. So in this kind of springtime, herbal medicine, there's loads of different plants that are coming up, and there's a sort of affinity with maybe some of the issues that are happening in our bodies. So another example of that would be cleavers. Cleavers is a really good springtime kind of juice to kind of clear out stagnation. It's a really good lymphatic cleanser. So cleavers is one of those kind of springtime plants. Also nettle is one of those springtime plants that comes up in abundance, super nutrient dense. So really good to kind of have after a long winter of maybe a little bit more heavy foods. So yeah, lemon balm has that sort of springtime energy, and also can really help us build resilience to just the bugs that usually are associated with kind of the springtime. So let's transition to cordial making. So cordials are kind of like fun folk tinctures in a certain way. So we make a tincture versus a cordial. So a tincture is usually made with higher proof spirits. So you're taking less of a tincture. It usually doesn't taste that great because you're taking it for medicine. Whereas a cordial, you can use brandy. That's what I'm going to be using today, or vodka, or any other. Some people have used tequila. You can use what you have on hand. But usually they're infused with fruit or something more delicious. In Slovenia, where my family is from, it's also called schnapps. So we have different schnapps that we sort of basically infuse herbs or fruits or a combination into some kind of alcohol. And then it's drunk for pleasure. But what's cool about cordials is you're kind of mixing pleasure, medicine, and then ritual, because often you're sharing your cordial at special occasions or after dinner. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water. So this is kitchen medicine kind of at its best, because when you incorporate pleasure, when you incorporate herbal medicine into your everyday with foods, with drinks, that is the way that you really build your resilience. It's the way that you expand your palate. So I really like that because that makes taking medicine easy and fun. So I also like to use lemon balm in pestos, and I cook with it sometimes too. So it's really versatile. So basically what you're gonna do, I have my jar here. Actually, would you mind grabbing me that, Andy? Thanks. I have my lovely assistants. So I like to just chop up lemon balm with scissors, and I can just put it directly into the jar. Again, because you're not making a tincture for medicine per se, you don't have to chop it up super duper duper fine. Usually for tincture making, sometimes I even put things in a blender to really expose all the cells to the alcohol. But for this, be a little bit more rough with the chopping, but you're still going to want to fill up your jar with your herb. And also, if you're going to be using other herbs, you're going to just want to think about how you want the cordial to taste. Lemon balm tastes really good, so you can put a bunch of it in your cordial. If you want to kind of, make your cordial more medicinal, then just you might want to dial back the herbs that don't taste so good and increase the other herbs that are yummy. I make a Love Thyself cordial, which has cacao, ginger, cardamom, black pepper, anise, and I've definitely had a couple occasions where I went a little overboard with the black pepper, and it's like the first thing. I mean, it's exciting, when you drink it. Well, but it's not to everybody's taste. So I've also made lemon balm cordials with fruits. So right now, like peaches and other stone fruits are starting to come in season. So like lemon balm nectarine, you could totally do that. You could also do citrus. You could do a lemon balm and like a Meyer lemon or orange. The sky is really the limit. And oops, sorry. Okay, let me enable that. And what's cool too is when you're making cordials in the springtime and the summertime, when everything is abundant, you can just let the cordial sit, and you can let it sit for a few weeks and then be able to have the cordial sooner, or you can let it cook for months. So, in the middle of wintertime, you have this bright cordial that's basically the flavors of the summer. So it's this really interesting way of really capturing time. And I love that about herbal medicine. Okay, so this is pretty full here. Okay, and other herbalists or just kitchen witches might add a sweetener now, but I actually like to just add the sweetener when I strain it at the end, because some cordials, especially if you're using fruit, you might be surprised by how sweet they already are. I made a cordial with just local citrus and vodka, and it was super sweet and it was so delicious. So sometimes, yeah, I just like to have it without sweetener, actually. So you have your jar full of your herbs. Now you have your alcohol. So I feel like this is a kind of special moment when you're about to pour your alcohol in with the herbs. So alcohol as a medium really absorbs. It's kind of like when alcohol is made, it's a distillation process. So it's almost by the time it's alcohol, by the time it's high proof alcohol, it's sort of receptive. It's barely what it was to begin with. So it's very it can really absorb intention. So this is an opportunity as you're pouring your alcohol on top of your herbs to really infuse your cordial with an intention. So I think my intention today will just be around these skills being shared and enjoyed. So here we go. So you can also use dried herbs. I'm obviously using fresh herbs today. If you use dried herbs, you're just going to want to use less than you would if you're using fresh, sorry, less dry, more fresh, because fresh herbs have water in them. Oh yeah, that's so satisfying. You can also do a mix of dried and fresh herbs, depending. So like sometimes I'll do like an orange cordial, and I'll put cardamom and clove, like dried cardamom and clove, or ginger and clove and cardamom, cinnamon sticks. The sky again is the limit. Jar it up. I'm just going to bring it closer so you all can see. Quite beautiful. And then this is one tip. Please learn from my mistakes. Usually what happens is you make some medicine, you're like, I'm never going to forget what this is because it was so special creating this. Like, there's no way. And then, 6 months later, you're looking at the shelf and you're like, what the hell is that? I have no clue. And all the herbs start to look the same. So write the day and, what it is on your jar, and you'll be good to go. So I have a couple examples of what you can do right here. So this is a cordial I made a while back. It's with figs, with fresh figs, oranges, and I think that there's some vanilla in here. Again, see, this is how you forget. So you have to write the ingredients somewhere. So this has been going for a while. This has been basically steeping in brandy for probably 8 months. You don't have to do that. I would say the minimum, you could try your cordial, depending on how flavorful the ingredients that you're using. You could try the cordial in a couple weeks. And then as soon as it tastes really good to you, what you'll do is basically strain it. And after you strain it, then you can put in your honey or any other sweetener that you like to get it to the sweetness that you like. Then you can bottle it up like that crafty witch that you are, and then give it as prezzies. This one is a cherry ginger orange cordial that I made last year. And I have this hanging around for, those kind of like spur of the moment, like, oh crap, I totally forgot this person's birthday or whatever. And I'll just pull this from the vault. So it's great because again, you're kind of capturing these flavors of the summertime, the springtime, of the autumn, and then you have them just around you. You can use them in cooking, you can use them in baking. I often, you can make your own infusions of rose petal, of vanilla, and then use them in all of your culinary adventures. So that's my herbal presentation for today. So what I'll do now is just take some questions, and I hope that was informative. Okay, let's see here. All right, first thing, let's see. Okay, hello everyone. Is it okay to use while pregnant postpartum? I would not use, so all of these are alcohol based. The information that I just gave you if you really want to do an infusion like this, but are pregnant postpartum, you can use the same principle with vinegar, with apple cider vinegar. The difference would be, you know, just the flavors that you're wanting. You know, you could do something sweet with, I actually have in my fridge right now. I have a citrus vinegar. So this is just, you know, citrus peels. After I've juiced an orange or a lemon, I'll just throw the whole guy into apple cider vinegar. And it's delicious. The flavors are delicious. But again, for cordials, alcohol, contraindicated in pregnancy and postpartum up until a point. Okay. What are the 2 liquids you put in exactly? Let's see here. So I used just brandy. You can use vodka, you can use tequila, whatever, but it was just a jar of brandy and then a bottle of brandy. Okay. What kind of dishes do I put lemon balm in while I'm cooking? Pesto is a great, like I'll do a springtime pesto, hardly with basil. I mean, sometimes I use basil, but all the fresh herbs that are going on in the garden, I'll definitely put lemon balm in there. And it's kind of a nice background. Let's see. Thank you. Storage. Yes. Okay. So I didn't remove the stems. I mean, you can see there's a lot of stem left. But again, because this is like more of a folk method, you don't have to be too wild about removing all of the stems. But the flavor is mostly in the leaves. So it's definitely, that's what you're going to err on the side of. But this is like, I mean, I made this in what, like 5 minutes. So you can make it as complex as you want. But for me, I'm a little bit more, yeah, I just like get it done. So mostly leaves, but you don't have to be like overly worried about stems. Okay. We will send a recipe. Yes. Storage. So yes, it should be stored in your pantry. So if you store it in the sun, basically the sun and heat will degrade the phytochemistry of the plant. So you won't have as a robust flavor and as you're after. So keep it in the pantry. That's pretty much the rule of thumb for all tinctures or vinegar infusions. Okay. All right. Let's see, is that it? I would say as far as the fresh lemon balm, in terms of rinsing it, you could do that, especially depending on the scene in your garden. Sometimes I give it a good rinse. Sometimes I just shake it off. Usually what I do with my herbs is I'll cut them and then let them hang out for a little while just to let all the bugs be on their merry way. So it kind of depends on the situation in your garden. But yeah, I think giving it a wash is just nice, so you don't have extra friends hanging out in your cordial. So I think that was it for questions. Are you all gonna make this? Does this feel like you're stoked? Okay, good. I have no affinity for any particular brandy or vodka. I just, if somebody gifts me vodka or whatever, I'll use it. There's a local vodka here, but you can, whatever you prefer. There's really, oh, good. Nice. Okay, I usually use vodka because I don't want the brandy flavor. Cook it down. Oh, that's interesting. I've never tried that. It's up to you. I feel like for some fruits, there's complementary flavors for brandy and some fruits. But like I mentioned about the lemon, the citrus cordial that I made in vodka, it definitely had much more clean flavor because of the vodka. Okay, great, everyone. Yay. It won't go bad. So the alcohol is going to preserve the herbs. So I think it's more tasting it like every couple weeks until you get it to that sweet spot, because if some herbs over time, it'll just get more medicinal tasting. If you like that, that's great. But this, again, like this is just kind of like a beginning, like an entry point into the world of cordials. So my advice is just play. Another really great herb to add to cordials is basil. So you could do like a strawberry basil cordial. You can do different kinds of mints mixed with different kinds of berries or different kinds of stone fruits. Pear and cinnamon, delicious. So again, the sky's the limit. Okay, so just to say again, yeah, so you strain once the flavor is where you like it, you strain it and then you add the sweetener to your taste, and then you can bottle it up. So we're coming close to time here, but I also just wanted to invite all of you again. We're going to do another webinar, live webinar like this next month. And I'm going to be demonstrating how to make an oil infusion with calendula and St. John's wort, because St. John's wort is really popping right now where we are. And it's really like the solstice power herb, right? So the solstice is the time that the herbs are at their most magically potent. So really excellent time to make medicine. Thank you all so much. I hope you great luck and deliciousness in your cordial making. So take care. Bye, everyone. Bye. Thank you.